I have that Wendy story too about her being eliminated, and everyone keeps saying like, oh, she had to go home. No, she was eliminated. She went to the hotel. She snuck out of her hotel room, went downstairs to the payphone, and booked a flight and went home.
Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go.
Hi!
Hi.
I feel so manly right now standing next to your beautifully beat face.
No, you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for being patient with me through my technical difficulties this morning and you still being here to chat with me.
I had plenty of technical difficulties myself, so.
Everyone, Mollie Sue is here in the flesh! How do you feel about doing this?
You know, everyone knows I'm a nervous person, so so I'm happy to do it, but of course I'm like because it's been a minute.
It's been a minute, but now we're back with the jump off.
Yeah.
Do you know you're like one of the fan favorites of Top Model?
I do.
How does that make you feel?
It's awesome. You know, it's great. I don't know how to explain that. It's cool. It's cool to see that people are interested in like hearing my side because, you know, I hid a lot from the show afterwards so that I could kind of do what I did. And so I never talked about it. I never did any interviews. Even my husband was saying like, all this stuff you're saying, I've never heard this. Like, I've never heard you talk about the show. You never talk about it. I don't. So here it is. Whatever you need, you're gonna get.
Oh, that is so great! It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Oh. So listen, let's kick this thing off by you first telling us what made you audition for America's Next Top Model.
What made me audition? So I had modeled earlier, and I think I was like 25 when I did the show, maybe 24 when I auditioned. I don't know. I wanted to escape the life I was in and get back into modeling. I felt like I was too old. So I thought this would like get my face, you know, do what it did, I guess. I made season 4 and I didn't go.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why Tyra keeps trying to push at that, like, don't let a man tell you what to do whole thing, because I had a boyfriend at the time that wouldn't let me go, or that sounds terrible, let me go, but it is what it is. I was young and stupid and had an awful boyfriend. Don't we all have those in the
I've had a couple, just awful.
Awful. Just awful. Don't date a narcissist.
Ooh! Did you watch Cycle 4?
I did. That's
How do you
Naima.
Fared? Naima.
I don't know. I would have done the same.
For you!
I would have done the same. I would have been the same nervous wreck. I don't know. It would have been the same.
How was audition week for you? Being there, like a semifinalist with all the girls, you're seeing a production for the first time, you're seeing all the judges for the first time. Walk us through what you remember.
Semifinals?
Mm-hmm.
So I was late getting there. All the girls were they're already in like this cocktail hour or whatever it was that they were filming, and they had like rushed me in. And I'm already wrecked. I'm in that car by myself from the airport to the hotel with the camera on me. And I'm just like, do I say something? Am I supposed to be talking to you? And they're just like, they don't say anything. And you're just like, okay. And I'm just like riding the car by myself, like, nice to be here. You know, I don't, what do you want from me? No one tells you. So you're just like, I don't, okay. So I got rushed into that, and it was like straight into that, the group of girls that honestly all kind of looked angry. Like even Dani told me, she's like, girl, I thought I had it until you walked in, which made me feel good. And then, okay, so the first time in front of the judges was awful. And you don't know, you have to be put in so many rooms and you're waiting for so many things and you don't really know what's going on, and they take you out a different way, or, you know, or they will, or someone will come out of that judging, like bawling their eyes out. And then you're just more like, what happened? Like Gina came out like a mess, and I was like, great. So they're just like, say you're nervous, say that, like, just let them know. So that's the first thing I said. I was like, I'm super nervous, like, just bear with me. And just shaking. Like every time you see me, I'm shaking, or I'm biting my lip, or I'm like, you know, I'm just a ball of nerves. Because you walk into a room and then it's like, oh, we're sitting with a psychiatrist. And then you walk into another and you're doing this. And then you walk into this room and it's like the judges, and they're all
poker face.
All of them. So you walk in like, hey, and they're just like, So immediately anything that you thought that you were going to do is like gone. It's gone. Anything you said you were going to say, anything, it's gone.
Completely gone. How was it seeing Tyra for the first time?
When did we see her for the first time? We were like having brunch or something, right? I tried to rewatch it.
You're fine.
She's beautiful in person. Have you seen her in person?
I've never seen her in person, no.
She's super tall. She's, you know, she had like the face and the hair and the, you know, so made us all look like, oh, in our civilian wear.
I like that term.
So yeah, I mean, I'll give her that. She's beautiful.
How was it being around some of those strong personalities we see?
My sparkling water as well in the morning.
Oh, cheers. Sparkling water break.
Cheers. Sorry.
How was it being around some of those big personalities during that first week? People such as Dani, not to be confused with Danielle, not known as Dani, but Dani, who was like this super conservative.
I forgot about that until I rewatched it. How do I feel about? I don't know. I didn't really know a lot of that was going on. Like, I don't feel. I
gotcha.
I didn't know. Like, girl would say something, and then afterwards she'd say something, and I really, throughout the entire thing, from start to death, was just staying out of it.
Gotcha.
I would like hide from the cameras, which is, you know, I look at it now like, no, that was probably not the best. But like the only place you could be without the camera on you, because they could be in the bathroom if you weren't going to the bathroom, which is crazy to me. So I would just take a shower, or I would just get in the shower.
Gotcha.
Like I just hid.
So let me ask you this, Mollie. Having walked into the competition with so much experience as a model, where were your nerves coming from now that you're in this space? Was it the cameras?
So, you know, you see, right, like you see this panel and it's 3 people, but like to your left, there's like 1 million people. And 1 million lights and 1 million cameras, and everyone's straight faced, and some are, you know, just, it's intense. And honestly, my modeling experience before, I know that gets brought up a lot, and Mr. J kept bringing it up, but my experience was like, I was 16 and like went to Miami, and even they were like, okay, she's not ready here. So they sent me to LA, and I did a few things. Yeah, I'm not, I can be with a person and shoot, right? Because it's not, you don't see every little, you don't hear me talk, you don't hear me, you know, the first thing Tyra ever spoke to me, like on our first judging, was like, oh, you looked really good bald or something. And I spewed the weirdest stuff about like how I knew I'd look good bald because my brother's bald and we're twins. And she's like, you have a twin? I'm like, no, I don't. And I just got, so, I'm like, from there on out, I just was like, just smile, just nod, just be agreeable, because I just would spew, blah, 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 blah. Like it was crazy. I didn't understand anxiety, and I was like, oh, it's like stage fright. It's this thing. I didn't understand it. I knew like I had had a panic attack before, because someone was like, I think you're having a panic attack, when I was like early 20s. But I didn't know. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know that there's this like world of panic disorder and anxiety and all the things, because so.
And it's such a beauty, like once you finally realize what's going on and you're able to like treat it. Just the quality of life afterwards. It's like, oh my God, I should have been doing this a long time ago.
And know who to say bye to in your life that like makes you feel that way. So
Nugget children. So listen, I want to talk about some of the girls that were on your cycle. Before we get into all the deep questions, I want to hear your first thoughts as I say their names. And again, I'm gonna flex, because I can name all you girls in the order you got eliminated without looking at a phone.
I can too. I think. Oh, I don't know. I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna test you. So the first girl out was Kathy. How was Kathy?
Fantastic. Like, I tried to watch. I think I watched a little of Joni's and a little of Ferranda's and like what they say. And Ferranda's like, I don't know why they said drop. We called her drop it like it's hot. Because I don't know. Because she was just a cute little white girl from wherever, and she was like just so excited to be there. She was just like, oh my God, like all the time. She was just excited and dancing, and like on her way out in her elimination, we were like, drop it, and she does that like.
Right.
So she was great.
What about
Next,
Wendy?
God, Wendy's beautiful. That was hard, man. That was hard. I don't think they should have. I think she should have come back the next season. She was. I mean, she's a cool chick. Like, obviously, she's like, no, I'm gonna do this. I can't find my family, but I got to do this. Like, she just. I don't know. She was cool. In the semifinals, my friendships are girls that didn't carry on. A few of them, but that's whatever. That's besides the point. So in the semifinals, I didn't really get to know those girls until like all of a sudden you're in the house, and then like I feel like Kathy and Wendy was like gone.
Yeah,
like, I don't feel like anyone really got to know them.
Know them. What about Carrie?
Oh, Carrie, I love Carrie. Carrie and I went and got tattoos on Melrose after when we were eliminated, and about town. She's lovely. There were, I mean, all of us were always like, when we all made it, we were like, what are they gonna do? Like, we all get along so well. Like, what are they gonna do? We all love each other. We're a fan. Like, and it was so true with looking at everyone. We're like, oh my God, this is the best season. There's not one girl here that you're like, yeah, she's on first, or like, oh yeah, she's out, she's gone. You know, everyone was amazing. Everyone was amazing. Everyone had a chance.
Gina,
girl, you know, Gina's from Tampa also.
I was born in Tampa, by the way. I was born at I don't know if the hospital's still there, but St. Joseph's Women's Hospital. Yeah. It's still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I was born there.
One of my girlfriends used to work there. Used to be a nurse there.
Nice.
You know. Yeah, Tampa. I'm actually in Safety Harbor, which is like this cute little town, like on the other side of the bridge by the water, in my little like bubble. And it's wonderful.
Nice.
All those that are like, you moved back, girl? Yes.
What about Miss Gina? Gina.
Oh, sorry, Gina.
You're very fine.
Poor Gina. No, just poor Gina. Like, because she went into that interview very like, I'm Asian, I want to represent Asians, and then it just fell apart. But I think you know, she's Miss Louis bag and Miss this. I think she comes from money. I think she was raised in suburbia, and I think she had like, I don't know how to say that, like white girl syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Culture
think.
shock.
Yeah, no, I think she was kind of raised like a white girl. Is that
no?
So when she got there and she decided she was going to say, I'm Asian and blah, 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 she was spewing these things that it wasn't her. So then she wanted to go, and then she's like, I hate Asian men. I went and dated my, like all of these things she's saying, because I don't think she was, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think she, like my words are gone.
That's okay.
Saw herself as an Asian girl.
Okay, she did like, identify with the Asian experience.
Thank you, identify. I don't think she identifies in life as Asian. So when she tried to like do that, and then was like, wait, no, like she couldn't stick with it because she couldn't relate to it.
Gotcha. Because that wasn't her.
Right. That all makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And she's lovely. She's a lovely person. We'll have to talk about the biting, because I saw someone asking the other day about Gina and biting.
Do you want to talk about it now?
Yeah, I just, someone was like, oh my God, they bite. She just had this, like, you know when you see a really cute baby and you just want to, like, squeeze it and bite it? That's how it was. It was just like, I love you so much. And she just, like...
I love you so much.
I think she did. I think she, or she just kind of come up behind you, like, Gina! Like, it was like a thing. It was funny. I don't know. It was her thing. It was never malicious. It was, if anything, it was just like, I love you, I want to eat you up, kind of thing.
Literally, I want to eat you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, skipping Mollie Sue, we're going to go to, I know, right? Leslie.
Lovely.
I had a chance to talk to her. Did you watch that one?
I did. I mean, I just kept saying, I love you. I love you. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Because I wish she would. I wish she could do it now. And I heard her talk about being anxious and whatever as well, and I don't remember that. She's just lovely, and everything she's doing now, like,
it's great. It's inspiring.
It is, and and it just her saying, just what she says, how she speaks, how she feels about things, like. When you're 18 and you're doing this show, you don't have that. You don't have this, like, this is who I am. This is what I want to show and represent. You don't have that. Like, you don't have it. She's fantastic. She's fantastic. She's beautiful.
Brooke.
Brookie was my room. Brooke, if you look, watching back the little things I noticed, I was like, I feel like I was kind of like people's mom. Like in almost every scene, I'm like, that's my sweater, that's my bathing suit, that's my, like that's my. I just was like, you'll see me like wiping Brooke's tears when she's crying, or like Danny, like most of the time Danny's like laying in my lap or sitting in my lap, or like, Brooke was like, first of all, I have to say, she was probably the most beautiful woman on that show. I just, like, hands down, Brooke, like head to toe, like,
stunning.
And they saw it. They kept seeing it, right? And then they would compliment her outfit. I'd be like, "That's my outfit." And that's when I was like, "Oh my God, I'm like helping people win. I'm helping people." Yeah, she was great. Nana. First, I thought Nana was gonna win.
We all did.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't, we weren't close. But she was, I even watched that first episode back where I said, like, we're going to need a list of your allergies. Because she just, I don't know, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. And I don't know what she's doing now. Is she modeling?
I went on her page a couple of months ago. I don't think she's modeling, but she looks great. I think she has a family.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I think she has a family now. Yeah, I think.
That's great. That's great.
The fabulous Veranda.
Oh, Veranda. Isn't she like the favorite of the season? Isn't she like besides Jade?
Besides who?
Jade. I don't know if she's a fan favorite for like the same reasons as Ferranda, but
no, definitely different reasons. I just think Ferranda was just funny.
Funny, like funny. Like I remember either just smart, and the smart funny is my favorite funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like just quick,
Mm-hmm.
just quick, and she was like she should have done some couture or something. Her like.
Was she really that tall?
Yeah, and you know when you're that skinny, you look taller too. Like I had agents that always told me that, like you're lucky you have skinny limbs because it makes you look taller. But yeah,
And then Sarah,
amazing. I felt bad for her with that makeover too.
You didn't like Sarah's makeover? Tell us.
If they were gonna give someone that haircut, it should have been me. Not that I wanted it. I ended up having something similar later, but why would you take this, like, I don't know if she's conservative or what it is. Basically her, like, at the time, her boyfriend, now husband,
oh, congratulations.
Yes. She was like worked in DC for like just conservative. That's all I can say. Like she was very, very, God, Sarah's smart. And they gave her this like punk rock hair. What are you supposed to do with that? Like someone should have given her here, wear these clothes with it because
gotcha.
she's in her,
you saying
like
it
in
didn't
her like yeah, what are you like wearing a chino pant and like a mohawk. Like, gotcha. Like buttoned up with like that's crazy.
It wasn't her.
Right, that's crazy. Why would you like? That's crazy.
Dang, I never looked at it that way because I love Sarah's cut with the layers and the.
Because she can do anything. Like once they saw everyone with shaved heads, I'm surprised they didn't just shave everyone's head, minus a few people.
Right. But next up on the roster is Jade Cole.
Jade. So let's talk semifinals because Jade was the different person in semifinals.
Okay.
Completely. She wasn't Jade in semifinals. Like I liked her in semifinals. Like I don't know if she was just like holding it in.
just because to get the part.
Right. Yeah, she was just super like chill and everything's chill. You know, she was easy. She was one of the people that I probably talked with most in semifinals. And then we went into, you know, filming and it was like, yeah, like Jekyll and Hyde.
What were some of the changes you saw?
But beautiful, but beautiful.
What were some of the changes you saw? Oh no, Jade is cheekbones all day.
Yeah, I heard you saying that. I was like, yes.
Oh,
I mean,
Jade is cheekbones.
Cut and glass.
Bitch, what? But what were some of the changes you saw in Jade's behavior outside of what was shown on the TV? Because you know what, I can see that because like when she came in, she was like very like bohemian chic and like herbs and candles and incense.
Yes. She I don't know if she decided to play a character. I mean, you can't make that up. You honestly, you can't make it up. I did see Ferranda talking about like the booze in the house, which there was booze in the house. I don't know if that. I don't know. The makeover set her off though. Like you saw it, and then after the makeover, it was like a completely different monster.
Do you think Tyra and them did it on purpose to make her upset?
I don't know. I think they thought, listen, Tyra has no business telling anybody what they need to look like because no, they need like a person that's their job. Like I had this hairdresser in Paris who like drew out my face and like sketched hair on me and was like, this is what I'm giving you. And it was like, yeah, yes. She has no business. So I think she thought she was making her soft, right? Didn't she say that? Like, let's soften your look. But I mean, you hear it all throughout the show. You hear Mr. J being like, oh my God, she's a drag queen. Like they made her look like a drag queen.
They made her a little too hard.
Too much. And so she was putting on too much makeup to do, like, everything she'd do, you're just like, stop it. She was trying, you all of a sudden you're like, I got to change my makeup. My hair color is different. And you don't have anything. You don't have access to, like, I need to go get this certain kind of thing because my hair is like, no, you move on with your life, and you're like one outfit you have because they've taken everything from you that has any, like, that's why we're all wearing plain shirts all the time. My husband sent me like a box of clothes because I was like, I have all these little boy, like, thrift store shirts, and I can't wear them because they say, like, whatever. So yeah, that's that.
Joni,
I love Joni. I love Joni. Joni's funny. She's another like smart and funny. Like, there was a lot of funny. A lot of funny.
Were you there when you guys got hypnotized? Joni tells us that you guys got hypnotized.
That was the first time I ever heard that. I mean, maybe she told you this is 15 years. You have to really got. So I don't know. But that story was insanely funny that she just like went with it and was like a chicken or something. What is she?
It was something. It was something. It was like I don't remember. Hell, maybe I'm hypnotized right now. I don't know.
I don't.
Did you think Joni was gonna make it that far?
No, and not to like. It's funny. I talked to her. So when the show is said and done, and she's like, and I already knew Dani won because that was like the first. Dani's my girl, and like she was the first person I talked to, and of course she called me. She's like, "I won," and that's what I'm saying to her when I'm saying bye. I'm like hugging her. I'm like, if you don't win this, I'll kill you. And this is, I told this story to my husband. He's like, you have to say that. I'm like, it sounds kind of rude. But she calls me and she's like, okay, yeah, Dani won. So guess who was runner up? And I'm like, Nena. She's like, no. I'm like, Jade. And she's like, no. I'm like, it's like, me, it was me.
Like, you don't have faith in me, girl?
It wasn't that. Like, I didn't. She killed it, man. And that was the whole thing with her, right? It was like, I didn't look at this girl, like, out of nowhere. And it's true, like, you just didn't see it. It's like the model was hiding under it. And all of a sudden these cheekbones came out and these, like, this, it's just like a different, and just, she was good. She's good with the camera, with her eyes, with her, like, she's got that make love to the camera thing down.
Yes. And then last but not least, Danielle Dani Evans.
Dani Evans. She's one of my really good friends still.
Yay. That's good. She
was a sneak attack too. So I didn't talk to her at all in semifinals. And she's young, I was 25 when I did the show, so I kind of hung out with the older. So Jade was older. This girl TK who didn't make it, who I love, and she was a little older. So Dani probably maybe like 1 or 2 episodes when all of a sudden you're stuck in a van with these people, right? I think maybe one day I was probably in the van with her and was like, oh my gosh, you're my soulmate. I was scared of the things. There's like a weird light in my. I was scared of the things that were going to be shown. Because I was like, oh my God, girl, we're dead. We're done. We're done for, because we're so ridiculous. Our nicknames for each other. She'll kill me. I told her yesterday I was going to say it. We're Petey and Kitty. To the point where, like, all of the production, everyone was like, oh my God, you guys are going to have a spinoff, the Petey and Kitty show. Like, they were like, you two are killing us. Like, they would talk about, or like, they listen in on your phone calls. Like, they're like next door and they listen in on your phone calls, and they have to stay up as late as you're up and, all that stuff. And they're just like, just you on the phone, like Dani on the, like, you two are killing us. And I don't think that we saw any of that. I don't think anyone would know unless you really look. Dani and I are attached at the hip. It was, God, she's amazing. She's.
What were some of the things that you guys did that we didn't see?
I don't know. A lot of it's in the van, right? You're in that van for hours, and it's like, I don't even know. I can't even, I don't know. We were just stupid. You know, she said at one point, she goes, Mollie, if I have to win this because of how stupid they're making us look.
Yikes.
Like, me too, girl. I can't go home. And like, he just made me scream at the top of my lungs. And like, we have to walk in these shoes and we have to like wear a cockroach. I mean,
Mollie, you didn't like none of that shit.
It's stupid. I get that it's, you know, I get that it's reality TV. I understand it. I understand it. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, that's not the real world and that's not what would happen. And that, like, I was insanely aware of it all when I was there, which is why I was so nervous. I was too aware of how I acted, what I said, what, you know, like, oh my gosh. But I was also like, you know, gone, like brain dead. So it's a weird, that makes a weird mix.
No, I get it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start walking through these episodes.
Okay.
So, listen, we're going to touch your temples and hope that you remember some things as I walk through these episodes and whatnot and whatnot. So episode 1, you guys do the bald photo shoot. How was that for you?
Great. That was the longest day probably out of any day. Because there were so many girls to shoot. And I loved it. I, you know, I was nervous as hell. And that's your first time going, like, shooting with Mr. J. Boy, love, I still love. So I don't know. I don't know. It was great. My picture turned out great. She said that I do this thing, which is funny because everyone that knows me is like, oh my God, that's your mirror face. So yeah, it was good. It was fine.
How was your first panel? I know you said that you kind of had like a vomiting of the mouth, but other than that, what was your first experience like showing up to the location, preparing to film, walking in, getting deliberations, all that stuff? You think that you just walk in, but you don't. You go and you set up and you stand there for them to get, you know, like make sure the cameras are right and everyone's standing there and where everyone is and where they're gonna be and here trade places or whatever. So you've done that so much and you've been there for hours. I don't know, waiting on somebody. Like, aren't we all like on the same schedule? I don't know. Waiting on people like who?
I don't know. Like, we were at judging for hours. Like, judging day was like, let's wake up at 7 a.m., go there, sit in this room that they've made look like a nice room. You're just in like some weird business building and like, you just sit there and maybe you eat, but maybe you don't. And maybe you take a nap and maybe you don't. And if the cameras aren't there, you can't really talk anyways, which is another crazy thing. So, yeah, by the time we actually walked in there, all sitting there, it was like fake. It's like very surreal. Every time I'm in judging, by the way, I'm having like an inner panic attack. So I don't remember much. Like you're just there and a lot of nodding and smiling and like, ooh, oh, CoverGirl, and like, oh, you know, reintroduce the judges, like, you know, just smile and nod.
Smiling, okay.
Just in my head, I'm just like, just smile and nod.
Samir Salah wants to know, in cycles 1 through 3, Tyra had a personal trainer spend time with the girls. Did she ever send one to the house during your cycle, but it wasn't filmed? Maybe later. I remember thinking about that too, being like, we need to go to the gym. No, I think maybe some girls, Sarah definitely worked out. I think she woke up and like ran around the house. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. No, we didn't. Gotcha. Miguel De Leon wants to know, was Nina really on the phone a lot?
Yes. Yes.
Dang it.
So like that I feel like when I am shown, it's always like I'm just like sitting in the corner waiting for the phone. Which is why I was like in the corner of that like crazy America's Next Top Best Friend thing. Because we were all waiting for the phone, you know, and because that's it. Like I needed to talk to my husband every day. I mean, everyone did, our fiance at the time, but that's what I wanted to. Everyone wanted to talk to their person. So like when someone was on the phone that long, it sucks. It sucks because that's your only lifeline. Like that's it. Like that's all you have. But yeah, he lost. Do you remember they show her on the phone once and like this was before the mail shoot and he was like, well, I just don't know what you're doing or like or who you're hanging out with. I'm like,
he was very needy.
A bunch of girls, like a bunch of crazy girls in this crazy house. Like
he was very needy.
What am I doing? We didn't do anything. Like we moved around that city in a bubble. Like there was so I think that photo shoot was supposed to happen, but I think they bumped it up.
Ooh, the one when the guy came in and it was the outside with the chemical things and then
that timing, right? Like that timing, huh?
It is perfect timing.
Yeah.
It is crazy perfect timing. And then she wins the challenge and he comes to the house.
I wasn't there.
Oh, Molly, were you gone?
I was already gone.
Oh, yeah. It's next episode. So
I missed everything.
So then, yes, he comes to the house.
Yeah.
And it's like all this. I'm like, ooh, I mean, it's great TV, but it's just like, ooh, this is so messy. Okay.
And I don't know if I had to have watched the whole thing, but right after I was eliminated, I was in New York. Like as soon as my episode aired and I was eliminated, I moved to New York. So like a lot of that was still happening when I was already there.
Oh, gotcha. How bad was the Janice and Gina dinner fiasco?
I forgot a lot of that. And Joni talked about it with the eyelashes. I'm like, oh yeah, she like walked on the, like you've been to a Korean barbecue place. Like it has the.
She walked on the grill.
She walked on the grill. Like her eyelashes were in the grill.
Janice.
She also, I don't think I'm saying anything that, whatever. I'm sober, right, I'm sober, I'm this, whatever. But she had her own little bottle like down here that she was drinking. So she was drunk, which no shade to being drunk. I'm a fan myself, but that was crazy. Danny and I right away were like, oh my God, this is our girl. Like this is our kind of crazy. This is amazing. We just like watched the show.
Did you feel bad for Gina?
She really turned on. It's funny. She turned on Gina.
Oh my goodness.
And what did she say? She was like, "Don't rat out your bitches, right?" And I was like, "You never rat out my
bitches. You're dead in my book. Zip it, bitch."
But I would have said, "She's not my bitch."
Zip it, bitch. You're dead in my book. Molly. She calls Gina over there, tells Molly to sit on her lap and point out who's been fucking with her in the house. Like Janet,
and then loses it,
and then tells her, "Get your ass back over there." You never. What?
I would have said, well, I don't know. You're in this moment where my whole life, my entire life has been like, I wish I said this. I should have said this, but whatever. But yeah, that was the biggest thing. It was like, she's not my bitch.
She's not my bitch.
Don't rat out your bitch. She's not my bitch.
that is what I'm putting at the front of this video. That was golden. She's not my bitch. She's not my bitch. How was the teach with Janice? With the ha 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 ha.
I mean, whatever.
Yikes.
That was weird because it was cool to see Lisa, right? And then they're like,
Lisa,
this is how you post.
Was there.
Yeah, I forgot that too.
Lisa,
I'm glad I rewatched. whatever. It's so weird to have someone teaching you how to model that modeled in a different era, right? Like, check the time, or like hail a cab. No one's hailing cabs anymore. Like, no one's checking the time. It's a fashion shoot, right? And you have to watch. Like, there's no commercial modeling.
It was a little bit aged.
It's not. No one's doing that.
It was a little aged, like.
But whatever. It was. I actually thought I did well on that. Like, even that Sears shoot and whatever. I was like, I won. I got it. I won.
The fourth
because
season.
that dude, not the photographer, whatever guy was there, he was like a male model. He was lovely. He had like the craziest hair, like Zoolander hair, but he was so lovely. And that makes you kind of lose the anxiety, right? Like when
the
someone
male
is
energy.
Yeah, they're talking to you like a human being, and not a reality show contestant. I don't know. Yeah.
How was the ice photo shoot for you?
Those hand heaters, I like put them everywhere. So
you were the one who put them everywhere. Everyone talks about girls who put them everywhere. You were one of the girls who put them everywhere.
I mean, Mr. J was like, was that in your bathing suit bottle? I'm like, it was. And he's like, you can keep that. I mean, we just the two of us just sat there afterwards, and I was like, yes, I probably was melting some ice with the pads in my bathing suit bottle. I don't know. It's so hard to think about it and go, now, don't look cold, but don't do this, but don't do this, but don't do this, but do this, so you're just kind of like, what do you want me to? Can you tell me what to do? Like, can you assist? But I ended up, I liked that photo. I watched it back and saw that I like actually moved around and wasn't just standing there holding that. I think of like holding it.
I love your photo too.
And my outfit, I love my outfit. Yeah, it was cold. It was cold. I don't know. I heard Joni say, I think Joni, or I don't know, someone said, oh, that wouldn't happen in real life. You wouldn't be shooting. You do. You actually do. You shoot swimwear in the winter. It is cold, but there's a guy right next to you with a blanket for every other shot. There's heaters. There's things to help you.
There's other things there to make you more comfortable.
Right. Like, I have drip sweated through some like sweaters outside, and but that's why you fly to all these fabulous locations and do amazing shoots and places you'd never go in your life, because the weather's nice there, and we can shoot this for this season, even though it's not this season. So.
What are your thoughts on makeovers for cycle 6? You touched on Sarah's, and you talked about yours a little bit, but what are your thoughts on everybody's makeovers?
All of the weaves were so bad, and they just don't have time. Like, for Rhonda, I think only had like a few little, and that was it. Like, they never even finished her. That's why it looked so like thin. But I loved her. I love her with long hair.
Me too.
Same with Dani. Like, I think everyone had a problem with it. I saw that Leslie kept hers in for like a year or something.
Yeah, well, Leslie tell her it was great.
No one knows. No one knew what they were like. How do I wash this? There was no like. Here's your at-home care advice, right? Like Dani, which, by the way, Dani, you still owe me a Givenchy scarf. She's wearing it like most of the time. That little cute green. Yeah, that was mine.
She got it. Dani.
She did. But I didn't need it. She needed it. I didn't have hair anymore. What was I gonna? Yeah.
Did you like your makeover?
I loved it.
I loved it too.
I loved it. And throughout my career, like every single time it started to, everyone would cut it back off. Like, I ran into Tyra one time, in the elevator at Elite. Oh. That's when she was going to be a photographer, I guess. And so she was there to look at the new faces and see who she's going to shoot. We can't all do everything, Tyra.
Mollie,
but you know what? You never know unless you try.
Mollie, first of all, let me take a break right now. I love your personality. I can sense your type of humor and how you slide things in there ever so effortlessly. And it is so beautiful. Like, girl, Mollie, I would want to get in a reading match with you.
No, yeah.
Like, I would have to wake up super early and like be of sound mind to make sure I could stand toe to toe with you, because you are sliding these things and they're so okay. Listen. I'm a queen. Okay. I'm a queen. You know, I'm a queen. Okay. I'm a queen. So I picked up on all that types of stuff. And Mollie, you are A1 girl.
A queen.
I guess that's when she was trying to be a photographer. I don't know. Ooh, that just got me so excited. That was good, girl. Okay. Back to Tyra in the elevator at Elite.
I ran into in the elevator and I had just gotten extensions, which didn't go well at all. And I went to this, I had like a little bob, and they were like, oh, you're going to have to go to this lady because she's the only one that can work a weave into that. And it ended up being like Naomi Campbell's like personal weavist. I don't know what would you.
Weavologist.
So, and it was terrible. And it was Paris. My agent in Paris at the time was like, okay, you're getting to this point. Now you need to grow your hair out because everyone has long hair. And that was dumb. You of course, yes, whatever you say. Anyways, I saw her and she goes, didn't I cut all your hair off? Like she owned my head. Like, how dare you have long hair?
And what did you say?
I kind of thought that was our chance to maybe actually like have a conversation, but like it was the same. She just kind of looked at me and was like, "Hi, Mollie Sue. Didn't I give you, like, didn't we?" And that was it. And I went in to see my agent, and she went in to talk to a different agent. And of course, I'm like, "I'm dying." He's like, "I know, girl. I know you're dying." Like, what is she doing here?
So
you're on my turf.
So wait, so like she just said she didn't like your hair, and like there was like no bye. How you been? How you been doing?
Nope. And I see things like she did this interview, and it was saying, oh, no one. Oh, my old agent is on here, and he's like,
hi.
Hey, girl. She was literally passing by. Yes, she was. She was literally passing by. Oh, that's so funny. I love him.
Oh, he was there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. That was my agent at Elite, who is now like one of my really good friends. But whatever.
While we're on the topic of Elite,
what?
I said while we're on the topic of Elite model management,
You want that McKey dirt?
Okay. So we're gonna put it out there. Okay, listen, guys. So these are the things that go down in the DM. Okay, y'all remember when I talked to McKey Sullivan from Cycle 12, and she was like, "Look, Miss Oliver, I had a very interesting experience." Okay, you know what? Let's take it all the way back. I spoke to Tiana Anderson, who won Cycle 12, and she said that McKey and her had a little talkiation. Where she was like, girl, just be careful, da-da-da-da-da. And so all the fans in me wanted to know, well, what the hell did McKey say to you or say to her, whatever. So when I finally talked to McKey, that's what made McKey start talking about Elite and all the other things with the stuff and stuff like that. So then when Mollie Sue saw that I talked to McKey about Elite, she was like, go ahead. This is where you jump in.
What did she say? She said, I can't talk about it, like legal matters?
Yeah, she was like, it was like some legal matters that she had to talk about.
I'm like, look at me. I'm like, Jose, are you there? Can I talk about this? Of course I can. He doesn't work there anymore. I want to say that, she said I had a really great agent. I want to say that was Jose. Jose, was it you? I think, yeah, he says, yeah. He's Diva Fina.
Hi, Diva Fina. A little splash of Aquafina. I'm just playing.
So he left. He went to Ford. And so she had this amazing person. She had this, like, Jose is everything. And so she had him, and all of a sudden he left, and she was handed to God knows who, right? So that sucks. Like, that's happened to me so many times where you're just kind of passed off and they don't really know you. They weren't there to push you or like sit down and say, here's our plan. You know, when I signed with Elite, I sat down with a plan. How much do you want to be involved in Top Model? And I said, like, do you want to be a top model girl and like do those things, right? He said he had CariDee, Jasleen, Salisha,
and Whitney.
And poor Jose. He was like, I will never have a top model girl ever again. He's traumatized. So where am I? What am I?
You're talking about your experiences at Elite.
Okay, so she got put into this insane situation with probably a bunch of jerks. Like, I don't remember those people that were left at Elite being the nicest people. Like, I had a hard time. I had a very hard time there. I actually left them and went to Ford, where Jose was. Because once all of my like bookers started leaving, I was like, who are you? Why are you my agent? And you like hate me. Like, you're just telling me like, just stay in Europe, just stay in Europe, just stay in Europe. I'm like, I really want to come back. Just stay in Europe. Like, okay. I was making money in Europe. And so McKey just got put under the rug. No one cared about her. No one wanted her. No one had that love for her or for Top Model. I think even like, honestly, I think CariDee probably ruined that for everybody.
What makes you say that?
She was a mess. I think she was a mess. I think she was all over the place. She found her little like psoriasis niche, and like by that time Elite was fatigued. Oh, that's what he's saying. Yeah, Elite was fatigued. Like, they were just like, I don't want these girls. They did not want us.
Oh, it's so much.
Is that awful? I'm not saying.
Oh my God, I was not ready for you.
Well, it was a lot. She was, if I could show you, I remember we were at a casting together for like Heatherette. Like back in the day, some Heatherette. And just watching her walk, I wanted to die for her.
No. Mollie Sue, what are you doing in life right now?
Hiding in my bedroom because my babies are probably being crazy out there.
But like professionally, what are you doing?
Thanks for asking. I am now a personal model manager.
Mollie Sue, you are good with these words. And listen, this is coming from someone who I am a professional reader. And I can slice any bitch on any day in any situation. And I am tipping my hat off to you, girl, because you are a slicer. But you do it in such a way that is so nice, but it's funny.
Because I'm nice, but my humor is not so nice.
No, you are a slicer. And let's get back to CariDee in this runway, and you wanted to die for her.
I can't. I don't know. Have you ever seen her psoriasis commercials? Okay.
I mean, I don't remember. I just remember it's like, hey, I'm CariDee from Next Top Model.
Yeah, and she's like walking through, I don't know. She's like walking through something. Like I don't know. It's awful. It's so bad. I love her. I think she deserved to win. I think she's beautiful. She's a lovely person. She just was, I don't understand how to.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Oh my God, how did I get here?
No, it's okay. No. I'm about to get us out. So
okay.
Just to frame it, and we can move forward. When you say that you think CariDee messed it up, what exactly are you referring to? Are you referring to her as a person, or just unintentionally what her career did, or what exactly
like
are you speaking to?
No one corrected her. No one was like, no, we don't swing our arms in front when we walk on the runway. No, we don't do this. No, we don't act like this. No, we don't. Like, I think she just got out in the world, like a lot of girls do. She's signed, right? A lot of us had to go get signed or whatever. She's signed, and she's like, here I am, here I am. This, like, with no one saying, all right, stop, take a breath, and let's learn how to walk, and let's learn how to, I just.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But she ended up making some money with that, like, psoriasis stuff.
I bet she did.
I was like, I don't know.
Okay, and then the people in the comments are saying, ladies, back to the elite tea. What do you want to say about the elite tea in relation to McKey? Any final things about it?
She just got, what did she say? I'm trying to think exactly. I can't like scroll through my phone because it's right.
No, you're fine. From what I can remember, it sounded like it was like issues, basically what you said, like they weren't using her, or like, you know, they didn't know what to do with her. And from what I infer from her saying she can't really talk about it, I'm assuming maybe, this is me just inferring and assuming, that maybe with her not working, it had an effect on contracts and maybe money and stuff like that. I don't know, but that's what I'm inferring from it.
Yeah. So you have they have like a year contract, right?
I think so, yeah.
And so you're in this contract with these people that don't care. So she's not getting any castings. She's not. Same thing happened to Dani. Dani went to Ford, and like she didn't land with this person that was in love with her. It's really hard to have an agent that doesn't have your back or believe in you or any of these things, because they don't care. Your name's not going to come up on some list of like, hey, send us all these, they just swept her under the rug. And I think a lot of winners got swept under the rug because of the situation. I think maybe Tyra's got to somehow send something out, right? Like, hey, these are my final girls. Which one would you sign? I feel like that's probably a thing, right? But it sucks. I wish that she could have just gone to where she was appreciated.
Gotcha.
Because she wasn't. And there's nothing worse than walking into this agency, right? This big open room with all of these bookers, and like they're so important, and half of them don't even look at you unless you just did some big job, and then all of a sudden they love you, and just not have them care for you. So I'm probably they just got her some test shoots and like, here you go, bye. I don't know. They just ignored her. That's the tea. I think the tea is just that they ignored her, and I think that's happened with probably everyone. I remember Dani struggling with Ford because that's who our season was Ford. Yeah.
I have one last question, and this is just me just being nosy. Why, and I really don't know too much about modeling other than America's Next Top Model and talking to you girls. Why was there a shakeup at Elite at that time? Do you know why? So
it happens all the time.
Gotcha.
Here we go. It happens all the time. Like there's just a big switch. Like it's like everyone just gets bored and wants to like change agencies. Like that's what happened to me at Ford. Like I left. Diva, Bina, Jose went to Ford. I literally went in there to say hi to him because wherever he is, I'll always like whatever agency he's with, I'll always just like go in to see him and see whoever. And that led to, hey, they were after me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I need. I need an agency that's like after me. So I left Elite. I went to Ford. And the same exact thing happened to me like 2 or 3 months later. I got this call in. I have to go and I sit in this room waiting to talk to these 2 women that aren't my agents and say, we're letting you go. Which was like, how many traumatizing moments have happened in my life? That's a big one. And Jose didn't even know. He was like, girl, I thought they were calling you in there because like Mizell wanted to shoot you or something. like he's like, I didn't even know, because he was on New Faces board and I was in the women's division. So it just happens all the time. They did a switch up. So I think that switch up was like a lot of people from women, the agency were coming to Ford, and Ford, like, they just constantly swap. So when these new people come in, they clean it up. They're like, I don't want her, I don't want her, I don't want her. Like, they clean it up. They get rid of who they don't want, which is another big thing with McKey, with all of these girls. Like, they couldn't clean them up. They couldn't clean her up. They were in a contract with her. So like, when they clean house and they get rid of their girls, which honestly they should do, because why have a girl on your board that you're not going to push, that you don't like, that's not your look, that's not what, you know, every agency has like a very specific look. And I was told that when I was little. It's like, you're this girl, you're an elite girl, you're, you know, like whatever it is. So
Gotcha.
that's that. There's it's constant. Another big one just happened. Dani just went from women to, now she's at elite. And because they just had another big, basically wherever her booker goes is where she's going now. Like, I started, yeah, I would do the same if I ever, I would stick with my guy. Yeah.
Where the money reside.
Yeah. The people who love you, the people that believe, yeah, the people, why would I want someone that doesn't, yeah.
Okay. American Shade, I hope you guys enjoyed that tea, because that was a lot of tea. That was a lot of tea.
It was, yeah.
Molly, thank you so much. We appreciate it. American Shade with Brittany King wants to know, what other jokes did the girls say during the challenge with Nick Cannon?
What did the girls think about? Sorry, I was trying to read.
No, you're fine. So during the Nick Cannon challenge, the improv challenge, what are some things that got said that we did not see in the final edit? Things that you remember? It looked like you was having a lot of fun during that challenge.
I thought I was gonna win. Like, even Nick Cannon was like, Molly, I wanted to see more of you. I was just like, yeah. But Ferranda was amazing. I don't think much more was done or whatever. You know, I think Ferranda, there's always more, and they always clip out whatever they want. I know I did a lot more than just like, your head is shiny, like a ball or whatever.
But you know what?
I did a lot more.
Thing, that's what I remember the most.
Really?
I remember you saying something. Your head's like a big rubber ball. I remember that.
Like, it was quick. I know a lot of girls were nervous, so I was always like ready to, I'll go next. I'll go. Because that's where I typically, normally, that's where I would shine. Like, here's a tire. Okay, do that. You know, whatever. I loved going to Groundlings. Like, that was epic. I loved being there. I'm obviously a huge fan of most comedians, and especially ones that train there, or, you know, whatever. I was excited. I was so ready for that. But at the end of the day, I'm no one was going to book me for an acting job. I'm not.
Because, like you said earlier, you can't do it all.
You can't, you know? Stick to what you can do.
Question, looking back, do you think you were holding back on your personality, or it was just how they edited it?
Both.
Okay.
This is the, you know, I had a few glasses of wine last night, and I was like going through and liking everybody's.
What kind of wine did you drink?
I'm a red drinker.
Me too!
Right now I'm on a kind of on a cab kick again. I kind of go, last night I had some Pinot.
Pinot was
good.
I like Pinot with pizza.
Oh, you're my soulmate. I like a good, this isn't how I eat, people.
No, it's okay.
I like a good frozen pizza, like a crappy frozen pizza with a nice bottle of wine. Like, you.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
Crappy frozen pizza is good. It's good shit.
Good. And then just the good wine done.
And then I'll get a little fancy. Then I'll go get some basil and oregano, and like, you know, and just sprinkle it and put like a little bit of garlic sauce on top of just a little bit, not a lot, but
I grow my own basil.
What'd you say?
I grow my own basil. Come over.
Do you now?
You know, just a little basil.
Yeah, a little basil. A little basil never hurt nobody. Okay. Okay, so back to you saying about your personality, you and them, and you're giving both of you guys responsibility.
Yeah. So remember, there was that like, hey, I'm here at your house and you can ask me whatever questions. And then she was like really rude to Ferranda. But I was like, how do you, when someone says be goofy, you be goofy? Remember that whole, because I'm like, I need to know this because I am a ball of death and you're putting me on the spot and I can't do it. I can't, my brain is just not, it's not in my body anymore. I can't think, I can't, what, you know, so I couldn't, that is the advice I wanted. Like, how do I push through this? And I think I said that a lot in the show. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. If I start talking, I'm crazy. Jade's getting yelled at for talking. This girl, these girls, Brooke isn't talking. No one else is talking. And why, how come I got this, like, Mollie who? They just kept saying how robotic I was because I don't have all these things going on for me. I'm very monotone. And I just am. I don't know. I can't. I can't. I just, period. I can't. I couldn't do it. All the behind the scenes stuff was, that's why all the girls were like, she was so funny, she was so this. And there's a part where Nigel says, you're so smart, you sound like a newscaster. So that was a mini challenge that they didn't show that I did very well at, but they couldn't show it because they sent me home. There was a mini challenge every time, and I think they've only shown like 2, right? The mini challenge was the most nerve-wracking thing. This one was, someone is holding a tray of CoverGirl product and there was a drape over, whatever, something was over it. And it was like, you have 1 minute, you know, whatever's under here, you have to sell it. And that's when I like killed it, but I probably sounded like this while I was killing it. So they said that you need to be a newscaster. Remember that whole newscast? I saw someone ask too, like if I did a newscast afterwards. Like, no. So yeah, that.
You said they didn't show it because you went home?
Of course, they can't show this challenge happening and me doing well and then send me home, right? Like that would just go against everything. Yeah. That episode that I went home.
I'm sneaking up to it.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I love when y'all come in here and all people are like, Oliver, why aren't you talking? Listen, I've learned to shut the up when they start talking because I just want to hear, I know when things come back to my brain and it's like, ooh, it's like a floodgate. And I just want the floodgate to keep flowing so we can splash around. Yeah. But we're getting to that episode. We're getting to that episode. Okay. So Laura Maria wants to know what the hell was Jay talking about on the Fallen Fairy Tale shoot about you not really trying to do a good job. And that's when we got that moment when he was like, just scream, Mollie.
So watching that back was really traumatizing. I talked to Dani a couple days ago and I was like,
I said hi.
I love her. I was like, Dani, I had a full-on meltdown. And she's like, well, you know what happened? I'm like, have you ever watched yourself having a panic attack on TV?
Not yet, but I will in about a month.
Oh, okay. So that was, it was, you know, the first jump onto the air mattress, you know, which was weird. Jay was like, oh my God, is it? And I was like, really? Okay, like, yay, okay, I'm gonna get it, you know, because he's always like, give me more. I think they really thought that I had some career, that I was gonna be amazing. And really my career was like these little like tidbits of like being young and like doing a few photo shoots and then being like, I can't do this anymore and like moving home. You know, that's happened multiple times. It's why I did the show is because I had moved back home and I was like, I gotta get out of here. So yeah.
You know, everyone likes
So
to...
I was so nervous, and I kept, you know, so it's like, okay, jump, but have a good face, but have a good. And on the way into that photo shoot, I told Danny, I was like, if they make me look like a boy one more time, I'm gonna kill somebody.
And then ta-da!
And I was just like, if you see me, I'm just like, they're like, you're gonna be a princess, you're gonna be a princess, you're gonna be a princess, you're gonna be a little boy blue. Which it ended up being amazing, but I just wanted to like be a girl. It just kept they just kept like the promo I had like pigtails and like just all of it was so like, oh, that's not what I want to look like, you know. Whatever. So okay, so I went in being like just down, just like I'm down. And so we did the shoot, and afterwards he's like, you're just not there. And I'm like, you know what? And you watch it, like you can see it all start to happen in my face, like right at that moment. And he's like, scream. And I'm like, oh my God, that's my worst nightmare. Like, don't make me look stupid on TV. Like, don't do this to me. I was just like I just looked at him like, okay, you know, and he's like, no, like, do it. And I remember that moment just being like, I want to walk out. I wanted to walk out because I know what he was doing for me now, but like, no one ever sat down and said, what's going on or what's this? And then after that, I had that huge meltdown, and and I'm in the mirror, and I couldn't hide. I kept trying to go places and like go die peacefully. And it was like the camera's in the mirror, that day was really, I don't like being a disappointment. I don't like disappointing people. That's another thing that watching it back, I remembered how aware I was of disappointing anybody, a friend that was rooting for me or anyone that's rooting for me. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I still don't. Like I'm an empath. I care for people. I love people. I don't want to disappoint people. So that was always resting there, was like, don't disappoint people. Don't disappoint people. And it just like, I went to win. I literally went to win. I went to this show like, I am going to go get this contract, and that's going to be my career.
Gotcha.
And then I got there and realized, like, I knew I wasn't going to win once we were kind of going through it, but yeah.
Dang. Same episode. Carrie goes home instead of Gina. Did you see that coming?
No, that's stupid.
Why do you think that happened?
I see it outside now. I see it as reality television. I see it because they weren't done with that drama.
Terrorizing Gina.
Yeah, I think they have a list of like, here's the people that are going to go home, and then it just happens to be like the order or whatever. And they couldn't send Gina because there was a lot going on there. And then the next episode, they like had to send Gina because they're like, okay, we can't keep like not producing photos. Yeah. Like watching her in that sewing thing, that was hard to watch. It was hard.
Yeah, very hard. Very hard.
Yeah.
And I wonder, were you there watching her model? Like, did you see her on?
Yeah, yeah. And
so it was that bad.
It was bad. Like, what was she doing? The guy's shooting away, and she's like, I'm like, at least try to figure it out while you're looking at the camera or something, right? Like, just have your face on. No matter what, have your face on. But that's another thing. You know, you don't know, and you're not aware of it, and you're not like. And I'd love to see everyone's film, right? Like, I'd love to. That was the one time we're not at this episode yet, are we?
Oh no. I was looking at the film.
That was the one time that Jay was like, that was your best shoot ever, right? Being a makeup artist. And Tyra went in with that, like, oh, well, I wish you were doing more. And that was the first time that I was like, I did. I was sitting on that dude's lap. I was here. I was this. You know. But
catch this, Molly. Catch this. I thought she edited you girls' films every week. So wouldn't she have seen you do more?
What do you mean?
You said
Oh, yeah. Yes. She tried me because I don't talk because I have lack of persona. So
lack of persona. Ugh. Okay.
dumb.
Okay. Anything about that photo shoot? That is one of my favorite photo shoots of all top model. Like I feel like everyone, even though pictures were not so great, but the creative was good. The finishing, like the composition of it was nice. The lighting was nice. Like it all was.
It's always this like weird after picture you get, and you're like, huh? Like that's just like super retouched. Like my makeover picture, like they like took my butt out. They like it. Yeah, it was weird. There's just certain things. I got that booty, and they edited it.
Yeah,
it's like my pride and joy. And they
is it now? What kind of butt do you have? Is like an apple peach? Is it? What is it?
I don't know. There's plenty of it on my Instagram.
I shall scroll through later, and I will make a verdict.
Baby picture, butt, baby picture. But I mean, it was fun in the industry. It was funny because people would just be like, I can't even look at you with that thing. Like it doesn't look, because I was so petite and had such a, and I've had 2 kids, so it's even bigger.
Ooh, wow. Yes, Mollie. Yeah. Okay, now we're getting into
I'm really happy. I'm really glad we just talked about my butt.
Are you really now? Because I mean, I have a big butt too, Mollie. Have you seen it?
I have. You did like a little profile video.
Yeah, right? my butt is ridiculous.
It's nice.
It's ridiculous. It's like, it's nuts bad.
I would show you, but I'm literally in like, I'm in sweatpants. Mm-hmm. I did from here up.
Oh no, that's the best. No, sweatpants is the best, Mollie. You don't know. Make it clap, bap, bap, make it clap, jap, jap, jap.
Oh my
Mollie,
God.
that is nice.
Who am I? No, but that's, that.
You have a nice shape.
It's nice.
I'm not even going to stand up because, yeah. Okay, now we're on the episode. So many questions about this episode. Mollie, I'm really going to let you jump in the driver's seat because this is the episode that we have that commercial, CoverGirl commercial. Okay. Just go ahead. Take us from the top of the hour to the ending of the hour.
So, this is when I was like, you know, you're in something long enough and that anxiety kind of goes away because you're just like, all right, we're doing this, right? Like you're not sleeping, you're not eating, but I was there. I was definitely at a place where I'm like, I can carry on this competition and not be a ball of anxiety. So that was a long day, right? We get there really, really, really early. And I mean, you can see all of the commercials were at night. So you're just like, learn these lines. And I know, I'm all day, I'm like, it doesn't matter. These will leave my mouth the second I have to say them. Like, it doesn't matter. I can't do that. I can't do that. So that was another thing. They covered my tattoos, and I knew, and like Jay said, like, CoverGirl doesn't have tattoos or something like that. And that was another like, oh, I'm not going to win. That was another like, oh, I'm not going to win. Mm-hmm. So the commercial. So the first one, you get 2 takes, right? I think 60 seconds, and we learned about improv all week, just improv. So I'm dead. And I'm like, just smile and nod. Just smile and nod. Just be pretty, and you're done. So I walk through the whole party, just smiling and nodding at everybody. I get to the end. I say my lines. Perfect. And they're like, okay, but what about the rest of it? I'm like, don't make me do it. Like, I can't, like, just do the rest of it. I think that my little improv was great. But because I did that little improv, I got to the end and was like,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they said I'm telling Mace, because I'm literally
Dermatologist tested.
like this because I'm dying and I don't know the words.
Mm-hmm.
You can, and I'm trying to smile, but like this is like they weren't there, and I was like, dermatologist tested. I should have just said easy breezy beautiful CoverGirl and like just forgotten. Just don't, Molly.
Liquid makeup.
But I tried. Sheer, long lasting.
Molly, did you think you were gonna go home? Okay.
No.
Let me tell you this before you say this. As a fan watching the show and just you pick up on TV formula and you pick up on like the story that's being told. As soon as I saw you land in the bottom with Jade, because I knew they were not letting Jade go until the very end. They were going to milk every craziness of Jade that they needed. They were going to milk Jade. They were going to milk her. And you know what? Now looking back, now that I just said that out, I can see why Jade is very like secluded and why she has the attitude that she did, because they really did milk her. Like they milked and like, put her on this roller coaster of like emotions.
They owe her some money because she carried it. She carried that show. Well, sometimes.
I knew you were going home, Molly. I'm sorry. I didn't think you should go home. I thought there were other girls who deserved to go home. So
when I left that situation, and I was just kind of, I wasn't crying. Usually I'm like, oh, because apparently I was a crier. I went downstairs and like, how'd you do? I'm like, it was terrible. But in my head, I'm like, not as bad as these other girls, right? Like, I'm just like, it was bad, but like, I smiled, I said my lines. I did what I could with what I had. So we go down and we're in this like weird basement because you can't go back upstairs because you can't let them know like, hey, do this or do this or right. So you're separate. And I was just kind of down there like, whatever. And then the only time they show us down there, I'm like wiping Brooke's tears for her. And I moved on and I felt good. I felt like, okay, whatever. Like, next challenge, please. That was terrible. And I knew so even that whole day of elimination, I was like, Jade swore in her commercial. There's no way they're keeping a girl that swore in her CoverGirl commercial, right? Like, why? You F-bombed the CoverGirl commercial.
Beautiful,
I don't care
fabulous,
how many tattoos I have. She's gone. Like, I thought for sure she's gone. I thought
Brooke's commercial wasn't good.
Brooke was really nervous. I don't know. Dani is my favorite. Like, what did she say?
Dermatologist test?
No. What did she say? She's like, I don't remember. Just when she did. That's why she's Kitty, because she just like.
Oh wait, when she was like.
She puts on this.
She was like, something about your face. Dani said something about your face.
For your face.
For
your face. I love her. I love her. It's just you see these people outside. Like, Dani is.
Oh no!
God, she's
I'm
funny.
I'm finna block y'all.
What?
Because every time they start putting, I like going to Los Angeles with my friend, Molly. I go crazy because that is funny to me.
Was that Joni?
That was Joni.
No, that like my.
Angeles.
Most of my favorite moments though were Dani. Dani and her like that for your face, and then there was like when Tyra like pretended to die. You can hear her after saying, "We're going where?"
Dani, let me tell you. While we're on the topic of Dani has some of the she has like some of the best asides and reactions that I think go under the radar. Yes. My favorite one was when she was in that goddamn cab in Thailand and she jumps in and she tells him, we got to go, and his hat starts falling off and he's like so disheveled and she's like, don't pass go, don't collect $200. Yeah. That is funny to me. Oh, that is funny.
She's quick. She's quick.
She was like, let's go. And he's just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
oh.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, CoverGirl commercial.
Okay.
Getting eliminated.
Uh-huh. First of all, we're all wearing those stupid shirts, which I wish I had. I was going to wear it today. My Mollie Sue. No, my best friend has it. Laura, do you still have it? And she, so when it starts getting down to like, she's calling out names and you're just like, I'm just shaking. Look, all of a sudden, it was like halfway through the reading that I'm like, holy shit, right? Like, and then you get called forward and I mean, you think I was dead before I am dead. I left my body like I wasn't there. It was like a weird nightmare dream. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Jade's going home. Jade's going home. It doesn't matter. Jade's going home. I wasn't thinking reality television wise, and they need you, Jade.
They needed Jade.
It was awful. It was, and you can see every girl's face. Like, no one saw it coming. Even when I go to the hotel afterwards, and I'm still bawling like for like an hour after, I'm just crying. Because I was so mad at myself. I was so disappointed in myself. And I get to the hotel and it was really late. It was maybe like 1 a.m, 2 or something. And Gina and Carrie were up waiting. They're like up waiting to see who's coming next. And when I walked in, they were just like, no. Like they were like, did you ask to leave? I was like, nope. So.
Why do you think you got eliminated?
I'm not good TV. That's okay. I'm just, I look at it now like rewatching it with my husband. I was like, look how cute I was. Like they always go to my face for like a reaction, like ooh or he, or just because I was like, I just want to follow the rules and win this thing. So every time they cut to me, I'm always like, always the whole first 5 or whatever episodes, I'm just
being a good girl.
Just trying to be a good girl. Like and I said something like, I was getting better at the shoots. I said the shoots. Yeah. And you go back to this house to get your stuff. And the only time we ever used that front door was when we filmed the beginning, and then like they film your exit, because we always went out the garage in the back to get in our cars in the back alley. And so they make me, I'm dying, they're just shuffling you along. Like you're dying and you don't have a moment. They're shuffling you out. As soon as you lose and you walk out, they take you in and interview you. And that's when I'm like, I can't believe I lost to Jade. And then I couldn't believe it. I was angry. I was so angry. I'm like, next to Jade. And then they film you with your luggage going out that door and close it. And they're like, and again, and you have to come back and roll out with your luggage again. Like,
that's reality TV for you.
That's not nice. And I like, you're just, and then all of a sudden I'm in my car with the Wrangler, right? And she's just like, that was, and how awkward for her, because you're just in her car, like in her like Honda Civic crying. And then you go to this hotel and you're still dying. And then you wake up the next day and it's like the best day of your life. There's no cameras on you. I got to sleep. Like I slept.
So okay. So let me ask you.
And I have that Wendy story too about her being eliminated, and everyone keeps saying like, oh, she had to go home. No, she was eliminated. She went to the hotel. She snuck out of her hotel room, went downstairs to the payphone, and booked a flight and went home. She's like, I'm not staying here for a month. Yeah.
She walked out of those people's shit.
But I did the same thing. So I ran downstairs when I was there, because you don't have your phone, you have nothing. So I ran downstairs, called my husband and was like, really quick, like before he accepts it, when they're like, say your name. But this was payphone days, guys. No one knows what payphones are. So I went down, I called him and I said, I'm at this hotel, I'm in room, blah, 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 blah. Call me in 5 minutes. And I just hung up and I left and I went back up to my room and he called me. And that's how we got to like still chat over the next month. And them girls are sneaky.
Oh, I'm sorry, you just derailed like my next.
That's a good piece because everyone keeps saying
great piece.
all of these things about Wendy. And I'm like, no, you're all wrong. So that's what happened.
Gotcha. So did you go to Thailand?
No. One more episode and I would have gone to Thailand.
Mm-hmm. You would have made it.
Because they take you as that decoy, which is why? Does anyone care that much?
I guess so. Well, you know what? Okay, let me be honest. I remember, I do vividly remember Cycle 12 when they were over there in Brazil, and I do vividly remember paparazzi photos coming out of the set and them taking that photo shoot. Tiana and I remember seeing Tiana. I remember seeing Allison, and I think I want to say I did see Amina. And then but you can see the cameras, you can see, and then like I want to say I saw a shot of Tyra like walking. So I guess so, maybe, I don't know.
But it's not, here's the thing. So I was brought in for that twirl challenge. Me and Gina, and Kathy was already gone and Wendy already took off. So it was me, Gina, and Carrie.
Uh-huh.
And so we were in this stupid twirl thing, right? Probably the best runway I've ever done in my life because I didn't care. Because it didn't count. And yeah, that's it. Why? The audience, it's not like they brought in audience. The audience is like the camera guy and the sound girl and, like, woo, and they're all, it's all the people that are behind the scenes all the time. So who were they trying to fool? Like, that was weird, but it's something they did. I didn't even know they did it. Like, when I had no idea, and we get there, I'm like, what? And this was probably like, I don't know if it was the day after I was eliminated, maybe the following day. It was like right away. It was like, what? You want what? And we'd have to still interview. So I'd have to be like, they'd be like, tell us why you're going to win. I'm like, oh, let me just share with you my secrets of how I'm going to win this competition after
really?
Right? Yeah, because they need more sound bites or whatever. And you get in that same tank top and you get in that same, They take note of like what you're like, okay, you're wearing this necklace, you're wearing this, your hair's like this.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, oh, right. So that's sneaky because there was some things that I was like, that's not when I said that, or that's not what I was talking about, or whatever. Because every time Jade would be on, they'd cut to me and I'd be like eye rolling or something, which is probably the truth. Like, at one point, I think I said like, just shut up, like just stop talking. I don't know. Yeah, so that was, and I remember seeing the girls and Dani and I saw each other, and she like started crying again. And, like, we couldn't talk, we couldn't touch, we couldn't like, we were kind of like put into the back of the line for the runway, and then everyone was like, what? Like they like, because that hadn't happened before. We hadn't had any decoys before I was eliminated. That was the first like round of decoys or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Question. What are your feelings on the experience you had with production of Top Model? These are the producers. These are the people who are running the show.
My experience with them, there were the few people that really tried to help you. Like, so since I made season 4, and I ended up not going, and that was, I had already I think I was like a couple days away from flying out to semifinals, and I was just like, I can't go. And that's when they were like, I'm like, I just, the money, this, I can't, they're like, oh, well, we'll give you per diem, we'll give you this, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can work, and I just couldn't, I just didn't go. So my audition was, my husband, my then fiance, sent in he found out that I had made the show, and he's like, what, you didn't go? And I was like, no, I didn't go. And he's like, oh, you're going. Like, you are 100%, you're doing this. And he sent me a packet in, and I get this like, oh, you're ready? Like, oh, now you're good? So they sent me to Orlando to meet with, and I can't remember the lady's name. It was the same lady that I was kind of dealing with for the season 4. And she was just like, you have to tell us more. You have to give us more. You have to. I'm like, okay, like I started talking about how my husband's a DJ, and like, okay, so talk about that, and talk about, I was like, I don't, what, I'm not this, I'm boring, what do you want me to say? Like and they kept saying that. Even when I got to LA for the semifinals, they were like, you have to go in there and just be like, I'm here, and I'm like, no, I'm not, like, that's not me. They just kept telling me to do these things that I'm like, I'm no. And Joni said that in her interview. She said, I think Mollie wasn't falling for their things that they were doing. Like they'd say things, or they'd this. It's like they wanted me to make a fool of myself, but I just wouldn't. I just like, no, no. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to be me, which ended up being anxiety me, but whatever. At least it wasn't just like, hey, like I wasn't. I'm like, you're going to have to get me drunk every morning if you want to see this like person light up and like act a fool. Like that's.
So like from my experience of having filmed a reality TV show recently, like on an official level, I kind of walked in with like your same thought process, like, I mean, I just want to be me, whatever. And not saying anything after that wasn't me, but like I understood, like, okay, girl, this is reality, but after reality, TV show. And you have to participate, you have to give your authentic feelings, like you have to participate.
Yeah.
Whatever your form of participation is, you have to do it because these people have a job. They have a job to create a show that's entertaining, that's engaging, because this is advertisement dollars. This is a budget. All these lights and people standing right here, all this costs money. This has to come back and you have to participate. And I can definitely see in a top model realm where it's like, okay, yes, we have the fashion, but we need people to participate. I can see where potentially, I'm not saying this happened, but I can see where potentially someone like Mollie Sue, who is obviously showed us she's more than capable of being a model, kind of falls through the cracks because she's not giving what a Jade might be giving, or what a Ferranda is giving. Like sound bites, cut tos, facial reactions, all that stuff makes their job so much more easy.
I know. And I wish I mean, in my interviews I was better because I was comfortable there, right? Like it's a sweatbox, right? You know that, like, what's it called? The confessional or whatever. Yeah. Which you're pulled out every few days and driven to this place to talk to this lady who's amazing at her job. And I wish I remember her name, because she'd just be like she was your ally, right? Like and I know she did it to everyone, but it made you feel like you were her favorite and she was rooting for you and she loved you the most. And she would just be like, how did you feel? It was like talking to your best friend. She was amazing at it. So that's where I kind of spoke the most, and I don't know.
Gotcha.
Not much was used, clearly.
Right.
Until my episode. And I think that's how you usually know someone's eliminated, right? They start really showing that person more.
David St. John, who is David, I just let it out the bat, which, I mean, I think everyone knows David don't give a fuck, but David St. John is a longtime producer of Top Model. He's executive producer of the show that I'm on, premiering in BTV in March, guys. But he just said, was it Dr. Laura or Leola? Because David St. John actually was not there for your cycle. He was there for all the other cycles. He wasn't there for your cycle. I said, David, my favorite cycle, your ass wasn't there. What the fuck was you doing? But he said, was it Dr. Laura or Leola?
Leola sounds familiar. Where is he? Can you tell me what she looks like?
Oh, I don't know what she looks like.
Him.
David.
He's not here.
No.
David
is definitely down.
Are you here?
David is definitely down here. I want to know, while David tells us what she looks like.
I think it was Leola. Whatever. Was she black? Yes, she was black. Oh, this is the greatest tea ever. No, that's someone else. Yes, she was black. Tall, skinny, beautiful.
Gather, David, gather. Gather, David, gather.
Anyways, yeah, she was wonderful.
What are your thoughts on the judges? You had Twiggy, you had Miss J, you had Nigel, and we'll leave Tyra separate. He said yes. He said yes, Leola.
He said yes, Leola. Okay.
Shout out to Leola wherever you are.
You were great. You're good at your job. What? Where are we?
What are your thoughts on the judges? Mr. J.
So,
I'm sorry, Miss J.
I was so excited to see Twiggy. Like, when you are this little skinny girl in this little town and you're made fun of and you have to fail PE because you won't dress out because everyone makes fun of your skinny legs and, like, you know, all of these things. My mother showed me pictures of Twiggy, and, you know, I had, my wall was like Kate Moss and Twiggy, and I just, every little like runway shot of them like up and glued on my, like, that was my like 13, 14-year-old life. Like, I always knew that this is where I was meant to be, right? So all of the things that kept holding me back, that's another reason I'm like, top models gotta, like, at least, you know, it ended up being a knife in the back, but I didn't know that. I really thought, I'm like, this is how I'm going to get back in and not mess up and not have these agents mad at me because I'm just like, sorry, I'm done, I'm quitting, I'm moving. So yeah.
Miss J.
Oh, anyways, the Twiggy thing, she ended up not liking me, and that like crushed my soul. Miss J, I still talk with Miss J. He lived in Paris, like around the corner from me. I love Miss J, and yeah.
Nigel Barker.
Let me tell you about Nigel Barker. One time
at band camp.
So when I was in New York, at band camp, one time I was on my way. So this evening, I had booked the Theory show, and that was my first big show ever. So it was pretty soon after the show, and so I did this Theory show, and before that I had a casting. So I like run to this casting. It's we don't have this phone. I think we had like Nokias. So you have like your paper, your printout, and your castings, and I got the room wrong, and I went into his office. I didn't know it was his office. I'm in this building. It was the floor above him, but I go in like I'm there, and he's at his computer and just like turns around and looks at me. And I was like, Nigel, like we're friends, right? Like, Nigel. And he was just like, can I help you? And I was like, oh, I had a casting. Is this what the casting is? He's like, it's probably upstairs. And when I'm nervous, anyone will tell you this, I say the dumbest stuff. I just ramble out everything my head's telling me not to say, I say. That's basically what happens to me. And so I just, I have a show tonight. I booked a show. You know, I'm just trying to, and he's just like, okay, your casting's upstairs. Like, he just did not have time. And I thought on the show that he really, like, he was always like, oh, she's beautiful. He said the nicest things about me. He said I was smart. Like, he'd say all these things. Like, seeing these people outside of the show, they don't care. They are like, please don't talk to me. We don't know each other. Like, that's basically how except Miss J, like, and Mr. J kind of talked to him. Did he remember you? I assumed, and I was like, it's Mollie Sue.
Oh, you announced yourself.
I wouldn't see why I wouldn't. I looked exactly this. I think I had a shaved head at the time. I shaved my head. But like, I can't. No one, you are just there for that show. You are not there to be guided by anyone after the fact. You are, it's crazy. Like, personally, if I started a reality show, like a model reality show, I'd want to like help them. It's part of why I'm a manager now, is to like be that person that people don't have. Like, when you get in this McKey situation and you have this agent that hates you or whatever, like, nobody has your back. So that's another reason I'm like, I need to, it's like trying
Be
to
the change you
create.
want to see in the world.
Yeah, I'm trying to create an agency that, like, I talked to my girl, she's in New York now with Jose, and I'm like, whatever you do, whatever you need, you call me. If it's 3 in the morning, if it's whatever, you call me. You don't, I have you. If something's happening, I have you. If you don't want to do that shoot, if you don't want to take off your top, if you don't want to whatever, I have you. You don't ever have to have that. You can call me and I will take care. You know, like these girls need to be taken care of. There is so much wrong with the industry. And luckily there are good people like Jose and there are good people like Manny. But most of them aren't. Most of them are there for their paycheck and they don't care what you have to do, but you are going to do it so that they get paid. And so there's some really shady stuff. And luckily we have like the Model Alliance now, and we have these incredible things that are there to protect us. And like, I hear that even like New York Fashion Week had like curtains up, because usually you're just butt naked in front of everybody, and I'm very comfortable with myself, obviously. Like, I don't know if anyone follows my post career, but there's a lot of boobies. But that's who I am. I'm a free person.
Mm-hmm.
So no. Yeah, it's got to be for the right. Not anybody's getting me naked. Vogue can get me naked. But you know, just a little Vogue drop there.
Which we're gonna get into your post
Here it is.
career. But it's like, dare I even ask? But I must ask, because I wouldn't be doing my job. What are your thoughts on Tyra Banks? And you shared one story about her where you ran into her and she scolded you for having long hair. Do you have any other stories, whether positive or
no? Because we don't know her. No one knows. She doesn't talk to you. The cameras go off and she literally just, like, she doesn't look at you. She won't speak to you unless the camera's on and it's like meant to happen or whatever. In all honesty, and I'm not a negative person, and I think that people are the way they are because of their own journey, and like, I don't mean to say anything bad about somebody, but I don't think she's a good person. I don't think she's a good person. I think, just period. I think she's a little bit nasty. I think she's a little bit crazy, and like a different kind of crazy. Not like, I'm crazy. And I just think she leads all of these girls. You know how many girls you watch this and they're like bawling their eyes out because like, I want to go back to my life at Wendy's, you know, or whatever it is, that they give up everything because, you know, and they don't know. And even when Ferranda asked for that advice about what do we do after the fact, she was like, I don't answer those questions. Like, she just, I don't know. She did that interview, right? Did you see this interview for Extra or whatever it was? And she was like, there are people that are really successful. Like, look at Mollie Sue. And she starts naming these photographers that I shot with. And she's like, you might not understand it, but it's like in the movie industry, shooting with Steven Spielberg or blah, 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 blah. Which I was like, that's amazing, great. But I was like, what did you just use my name for? Like, you did anything for me. Everything I did, everything Danny's done, everything, the girls in the past that have done well, anything we have done, we have fought really, really hard for. And that's some strength, and that's some like working against all that is evil. Like, you really are. You're working against this thing, and then all of a sudden, Top Model becomes cool because reality shows are cool, and now these girls are like, what's this girl that's like epically working?
Winnie Harlow?
Yes, but besides her. Winnie's not the nicest person in the world either.
Oh my God. Molly, I need you to stop wrecking me. You're wrecking me. You are wrecking me.
She's not kind. She's not kind.
Oh, I should have had a
listen, I understand not wanting to be like, I'm not going to sit here and give credit for my career. Oh, thank you, top model, and thank you, Tyra, and whatever. No, because honestly, like, I should have just tried it, but whatever. I don't know. I'm not.
Was the
I'm
other
not going.
person Leela that you're talking about? Is it Leela?
Yes. Amazing. And I didn't see that. I didn't see either of their seasons, but I didn't even know how I found, because she's legit, like she's doing it. Like Ricardo Tisi was like, I need her for Givenchy. Let me tell you, the first time I said Givenchy to my agent, and I said like Givenchy, I think, and Jose, do you remember this? And
Did he
was
fall
like,
out his chair?
like, girl. And I remember being on this like really amazing, one of the best shoots I've been on. I was in Ireland, and I'm getting texts from my like Paris phone for castings for when I get back, and I was like, I'm on option for, what does that say? Is that? And they're like, Marjala, you're on option with Martin Marjala. And I was like, I was like, is that good? They're like, oh, that's good, girl, that's good.
Right. That's amazing.
Who am I? I don't know. I'm like, who's that? Which is why I tell everyone, like, learn, like, know your girls, know your stuff, man. Don't go in there acting a Molly fool.
I'm looking down here. I'm trying to fact check myself right fast before I open up my big mouth and say something stupid. You know that fragrance, that Audrey Hepburn fragrance? Okay, yo, it is Givenchy. I just wanted to tell how I learned how to pronounce Givenchy. I was walking through Bloomingdale's in Atlanta, here at Lenox. And this woman, you know those people who are always trying to like sell you cologne and perfume and stuff like that. She got me. Listen, the best marketing in my book ever. She takes it and she sprays it right in front of me as I'm walking through it, right? And it's the Audrey Hepburn fragrance, the Laundry fragrance by Givenchy. That's how I learned how to say Givenchy, because I bought 2 bottles that day, and that's the only fragrance I wear. And that's how I learned how to say Givenchy, because before that day, I thought it was Givenchy.
Givenchy, yeah.
Oh, the embarrassment.
Oh, Tampa.
Right, Florida. That's Florida for you. Florida.
That's what it, yeah. Me and Givenchy. Listen,
Mollie.
Givenchy, you should be booking 40-year-olds. Because that's what we should be doing now.
Let them know, Mollie Sue.
Just saying. Like,
just saying.
Come on. Listen, I'm very thankful. I jumped into the business like at 26.
Perfect. That was my next question.
And I think I did really well. Like I'm really proud of myself. But it was short. It was like 5 years. And so like that 30, when I hit 31, I think is when I was like done. And I was thinking, like I was drowning. I could not, like once one thing happened, it was like a domino. Like Ford dropped me. My agency in Paris dropped me. I get the letter from London. I was a storm in London. They were like, hey, we're going to release you from the contract. And I was just like, or no, I got an email saying, we're taking you off the website, right? And I emailed back saying, does that mean you're letting me go or just taking me off the website for now? And I never heard back. And these are people that you like become friends with, right? Like these are, and I know they have to do their job, but also like no one really treats you like a human when it's all said and done. And it's kind of awful. Like we all need, I name a model that's not in therapy. I don't think you can. So, because it's about you, it's about how you look, who you are. Like it's completely personal when they don't like you or they don't want you or you're not this or you're not that anymore. Right. So it's hard not to like completely like shame yourself or I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not whatever. Like it's easy to get in this. Your value is the jobs you're booking, right? So when you're not, there's no
value.
I have no value. Yeah.
I have an immediate question to that. So how does someone like Danielle who's been modeling forever still book jobs like she just did, like Harper's Bazaar? How does someone?
Because she is a machine.
Okay.
So we recently talked about this, and I didn't even think about it. So when I was done with my career, when I was just done, that was when that crazy recession hit, right? And it really hurt a lot of girls, and I never thought about it that way. Like, because I was also like, in my head, I got aged out, right? I was aged out. And I couldn't lie about my age anymore. I literally had casting directors in Paris be like, how old are you now, Mollie? I'm like, I don't know, how old was I last time? Because I think I was just 25 or 24, like, until I was 31. And she just pushed through it. She stayed in New York, and she pushed through it, and she worked her butt off, and she's started an incredible brand. She has an amazing brand that's now being like sold in like Nordstrom, Neiman? No, Saks, and somewhere else, Revolve. Go check out Monroe. Support your Black businesses. And she's just a hustler. She's just I don't want to talk on this, but I kind of do. She had a rough year. You know, she had a really rough year. I mean, we all had a really rough year, but she had a really rough year. And she just continues to like push through. And like, I mean, her Bazaar cover came out, a couple months ago. Like, she just didn't stop because she knows where she's supposed to be and what she's supposed to be doing. And I think everyone should applaud her because that's incredible. She has worked against such crazy, like, yeah. She found an amazing booker. She books amazing jobs. She's getting seen by the people that like they won't send you to. So she's getting seen by the right people. And yes, there's this like thing around top model girls, but like look at that girl's face. Look at her face.
Which is why she's still to this day. And I love everybody. I love everybody. But in terms of if I could rank who is my number one contestant of all time, for that simple fact, she is still my number one contestant of all time from that show. I feel like she represents what that show said it wanted to do. You take a girl who probably would have never been given this opportunity. You put her through the wire. She proves herself, and then she gets out there and she works and she becomes a top model. Dani, is a top model. And yeah, it's inspiring to see her still to this day. Like, I remember when I saw that Harper's Bazaar thing come out, I was like, this is freaking great. I mean, and granted, I knew she still was working throughout, all the years and stuff like that. But for her to get that cover and looking immaculate.
And Manny, she knows her, like shoots her, and she talks about that too, and like finding this person that like shoots her how she wants to be shot and lets her kind of have creative, because usually you don't get creative.
I
get whatever they give you.
Manny, can you shoot me? Because it seems like everybody.
I'm serious. Like, I wrote him yesterday and was like, "Listen, I talked about you on the phone with Dani, and I just want to say I hear a lot about you, but Manny, I have never done the cover of Bazaar."
Manny, I've never done the cover of anything, so
now's your moment.
Because I hear and it's doing these chats, I'm learning about like, people outside that, aren't on Top Model, but have a lot of connections and stories. He is a constant name that I only hear great, amazing things about. Like how he is out there for the girls and like he's a good person. From like multiple people, I've heard that about him.
Yeah, we chatted a little yesterday about like old agents and like back when agents like were agents and they cared, and that like not that they, but just there were the few good people that you found in the industry, and we kind of discussed like he's like, oh, he posted a picture of someone from like 95, like, and I did that. I did Elite Look of the Year. I think it's still a thing. I did that when I was like 15, and I made it to Miami, but I didn't make it past Miami. But I've known these people in the industry for a long time, and it's weird. It's weird that I was never really there, but I kept being told like stop it and stick around, and we're going to make you, one agent was like, I want to make you a star. And I just left. Stupid boys.
But even talking through that, you still having an amazing career.
I did.
You had an amazing career. You said something in your exit interview on Top Model. You were like, you guys just eliminated your winner. How do you feel now having what you have underneath your belt, which is one of the most successful Top Model careers of all girls? Looking back on that, how do you speak to that, Mollie? How do you speak to that moment? And how do you speak, most importantly, I think we want to hear, to the people who sent you away and said, you're not good enough for us in our Top Model show?
You know what? I get it. Like, I have no, of course, like if I'm running a reality show, I'm just not gonna put myself in it. But honestly, I would love a do-over. Someone I just saw said like All Stars. I'm like, yeah. And I would go on there and try to be this person. And I bet you $1 million I would have panic attacks.
No.
I think I'm like, I want to do it. I can do it again. Who cares now? Like, I'm not trying to have a career out of it. Like, I don't need some agent seeing me be like a damn fool. So now I think it would be easier because why not? Who cares? What would I tell that girl? It's gonna be okay, girl. She was so sad. I was so sad. I was sad. I was
David
really,
just
really,
asked
really
a question that he tells me I need to start asking a lot, and a lot of times I forget. Outside of all of the things that we can talk about Top Model and the negative experiences and the heat and all of that, what good things did you take away from the experience?
Danny, one of my loves of my life. That's all I took away. I don't know. You know where Brandon, Florida is?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay, so that's where I'm from. So like, I'm from Brandon, Florida, and period. So I was like, yeah, reality show, yeah, whatever. If anything, I just go home and I'm like, that girl that did a reality show or whatever it is. So what did I take away from it? I don't know. To not be so inside my head. And I got a lot better. I got a lot better at presenting myself, we didn't have Instagram. I think Facebook showed up halfway through my career, like that we didn't have that. So everything was there was no, oh, I saw your picture on Instagram. It was all me here, my book, like this is what I've done. It's you talking, it's you showing, it's you. So all of that was really true. Like you have to show that personality because no one's there to just be like, well, I'm going to book her anyways because she's just so pretty or whatever. There are jobs that you book by you being you or whatever it is, but a lot of them are meeting a person and being like, oh my God, I'm going to have a great day with this girl, right? Like we're going to have so much fun. So, I had to get out of my head. And I've always struggled there a little bit, but I got much better.
Good. Good. And here's my final question do we still have time? Because we've been talking forever.
I have all the time.
Okay. So listen, guys, you guys who got badges, after I ask this question, I want you guys to go ahead and start dropping your questions down. I'm only asking the questions of people who got badges because it's over 200 of you guys watching us right now. And Mollie, I have anxiety, and I try to do things so that my anxiety doesn't go crazy. And trying to read a bunch of things makes me go bananas. So it makes me go. I'm like, ah. So yes, if you guys got a badge, here's your time to ask your questions. I'm only asking one question from you guys, so it's not a multiple question day. Just because we've been on her for a long time, and Mollie's done a great job at spilling. So as I ask for this last question, start populating the chat with your questions. My last question to you, Mollie, is if you were in front of Tyra Banks in 2021, what would you say to her?
Like if I saw her now?
Yeah, like right now.
I just, hi. I don't even know if I would say hi. Like, why would, she doesn't care. I don't know. I wouldn't say it. I don't know. Like if this, like if that elite situation happened again, wait, you think I'm gonna read her?
No, I don't know.
No, I'm kidding. No, I barf. I don't know. I know I'm supposed to like say thank you, but I, I, hi, thank you.
Hi, thank
I
you.
don't know. I don't know.
Full stop.
Full stop. Like I don't have anything to say to her. Like, hey, I did well, thanks. I don't, nothing. I have nothing. I've never, like, the whole show, I don't think I ever spoke to her. She'd like say like, oh, I mean, she loved that my name was I mean, I don't go by Mollie Sue. I've never really gone by Mollie Sue, but like, that's what she wanted to call me because she's Tyra Lynn. And I'm just like, okay. All right. So, and it's weird because when people call me Mollie Sue, I'm like, oh, yeah.
You're one of those. I got you. Okay, Mollie, I'm gonna run these questions off to you. Lightning round. So __ 3011 is basically saying she wants to be your intern. Can you tell anyone if they're interested in working with you, under you, tutelage, whatever, what do they have to do?
To work under me?
No, Mollie, let me tell you something. So in my closing, I was gonna say you have a bevy. You have a lot of knowledge, and you communicate.
I do.
In such a way that's very informative, and I'm an empath too. I can sense that it comes from a place of caring and you want to help people. So I was gonna say, I don't know if you have your agency, but I don't know if you do like a podcast, because everyone says they can listen to you talk forever and ever. I don't know if that's a podcast or a YouTube segment about whatever you want to talk about, but you're good at it, girl. And then you're funny and shady, so it's great.
I mean, that's nice. I don't. Listen. In a few years, my agency is going to be doing very well. I feel that in my bones.
Speak it.
My one girl right now, Alexis Courier, she's with State Management. If you look at her, you would barf. She is my only girl. And there's some weird like Florida laws with that. So like I'm gonna have one girl for a while. I also have a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. Like I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like my 2-year-old is an intense. She's an intense person. So I can't move forward yet. Like I can't. She's not in school. Like, and she won't be for a couple of years.
Gotcha.
So I'm able to like have this one person and like give her my everything, and I want to be able to do that for everybody. So when I get to a place where I have more people, and that will happen, I will need help.
So just stick around and see.
Stick around, like seriously. I've watched so many management companies, people go into these huge agencies now. So I know I'm good at my job. I know I've always wanted to be a booker. It's crazy, even with that, like, what do you want to be if you're not a model thing? I like a booker. It's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, I want to stay in the industry somehow, like whether it's hair or makeup or whatever. And that's what they were like, okay, this. Like I'm supposed to be here. Like, I'm supposed to be here. But I've always wanted to be a booker. And when my career was ending and I was drowning, everyone was like, you need to be a stylist. You need to do this. I'm like, I cannot be a stylist at 30 because you have to start down there. And I can't start down here. And I just can't. Like I want a family. Like there was just so many things I wanted, and as much as I tried to hold on to it, I really had to let it go. And like, did you see that I like I closed this runway show holding my baby boy?
No.
So that was, he's 7, so about 6.5 years ago or whatever. And it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. And it was the first day of New York Fashion Week. I never closed a show before. And I closed the show carrying my baby, and I flew home the next day, and I had never felt that good in my life, or leaving that, like it was this closure. Like, it was so incredible. I ended up doing like an interview with Daily Beast, like all these people like calling me like, how? And I'm like, I've never gotten so many lovely things said. Like, no one's nice. People are awful, right? Like you see these forums or whatever. Forums were bigger back for all you youngsters. That used to be just like forums, and people would go on there and just be like, this girl is so ugly. Oh my God, she looks so old. What is she from the trailer park? I mean, just like, and it's like, stop reading it. Stop reading this.
Yeah, don't put yourself to that torture.
I can't imagine having Instagram now, and like, because these girls, like, you have to post like 2 pictures a day. Like, I re-signed like 4 or 5 years ago with Wilhelmina, like after that runway show, and in Miami, and they were like, okay, well, here's how much you have to. I'm like, I don't know.
Social media's a job. Yeah,
Instagram's a job. Like, my girl right now, she took a little Instagram course the other day, and before that, I was just kind of like, just post this, just post. Like, I just let them see you, let them, like, you know, post all of everything you're doing for Black Lives Matter, like, do that, use that. Like, everyone wants to know that now, right? Like, everyone really wants to know who you are and what you stand for, and it's part of it now, which is also very incredible, because that's something I'm really outspoken about. So yeah, I guess it's easier now with Instagram, but also like harder. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of
things.
Listen, people, in like 3 years, just keep me posted.
Just keep your eyes out.
I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, let me know. Sign me. Hey.
Listen, I need people.
Can you imagine me going to a go see? I can't.
Depends on the go see.
Would you ever do another show with Tyra and A&TM?
Yes.
Perfect. Simple. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that I'm like, this was awful? And like, I would absolutely put myself through that again.
It's because you feel like you're just in a better place to handle it.
Yeah, and why not? Like, why not try to get some dollars again? Not that you get these, like, I don't even know if they saw that money. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Ooh.
Danny she kept doing CoverGirl though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Danielle kept
her own.
Yeah, on her
own. They rehired her.
Yeah, I saw that. Even as a Jade. What was your favorite and least favorite part of your experience on the show?
My favorite part. Just little weird things like when Jade was responsible to go to the grocery store for everyone, and you all give her your money, and she came back with like a bunch of Hypnotic. You know,
yes, Jade, get the party started. That is funny.
Have you ever had Hypnotic?
Yes, and you know,
yes.
Have you ever had Hypnotic with Hennessy?
No, because Hypnotic tastes like sweet armpits to me.
Molly, let me tell you something, girl. Get you some Hypnotic. Hennessy. Get you some Hypnotic with some Hennessy.
I like a good Hennessy. I like a good sidecar. I like a good like cocktail. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna get it, and
I talked Contessa from Married to Medicine on Bravo. This she was like Hypnotic and Hennessy. I said, Dr. Metcalf, trust me. She was like, thank you. So try it. Tell me what you think.
Okay. But that, like, stuff like that, even like the night before I was eliminated, like, was the best night in the house because we all drank that Hypnotic. And
yes, Jade.
Like, we found some weird stuff in Ferranda's bathroom. Sorry, Ferranda.
Like what?
And apparently, Janice told Ferranda that yogurt is good for your face. So when listen, it looks like I was gone quick, but I was there for like August, September, Halloween had passed, you know, like you're there a long time. That yogurt was sitting on her bathroom counter that whole time since Janice told her. And I'm like, girl, you probably need to put it in the fridge. Like, I couldn't believe, we opened it up. It was, she was putting just rotten, nasty yogurt on her face. I was dying. I think I chased Dani around the house with the thing of yogurt. Just fun. I mean, we had fun. With
the girls, yeah.
With the girls, we had fun. And like,
the least favorite.
Being in a reality show and not realizing I'm in a reality show, like, I guess I don't, you know, the least favorite is how they treat you. Like, they're kind of bullies. Like, really watching it back with what the judges say or how they, it all kind of goes to Dani because I love her so much, but with the gap, and at one point, like, Miss J even put on this, like, fake shaving cream and, like, signal that, like, that she had to shave her lip and, like, I know that times are different and you can't get away with stuff like you did then, but like, shouldn't we have all just always been nice and not so awful to each other? Like, I don't know. I guess that's good TV, is being mean.
Diva Fina wants to know, please talk about Paris, Karlie Kloss.
Do you know who Karlie Kloss is?
No.
What?
I'm sorry.
He says, please talk about Paris. I wish I saw that. She's huge. So she's like the new host of Project Runway.
Oh, okay. When you put it, see, you gotta put it in the context of things that I know. See, I don't know about fashion. I know about TV. Okay, yes, I know Karlie Kloss. Yes. So
when I was in Paris and Fashion Week would come around, that was just like my time. Like, I didn't do many shows because I'm not tall enough. So Paris Fashion Week for me was just party. And so when my agents would come over, like, I think it was, Elite at the time with Jose, like, they're like, Jose is pretty epic at being like this, like, full service agency and like going to Paris, going to London, Milan, Paris with the girls and just like being there and being this like full-time support. It's pretty amazing. And, he's carried that to like every agency with him. But so I was like a wrangler. I was like Elite's wrangler in Paris. So I would take care of these babies who are like these epic supermodels and like help Karlie. I had to like show up. I think she was like in a Marchesa fitting and was having a hard time because she didn't want to wear something sheer because she was a baby. And she was like with her dad and her uncle. And I had to like rush to this fitting and be like, she's not doing it. You tell them no. They want you, girl. You don't, like, you just did like Gucci exclusive. Like, you don't need this. So I would just take care of these babies. I remember one of them, this girl, Allie Stevens, who did amazing, who's now like married and like riding horses, and she's like a real estate agent or something crazy. And she was like, oh, I thought I'd be able to go home, but I have to stay and shoot the Chloe campaign or whatever it was. I'm like, oh. So I like, listen, I'm going to take you to this place called Breakfast in America. It's in Paris. And we had like hamburgers and Dr. Peppers, because it's like this little, you walk in and you're like, oh, I'm in an American diner. Like, it's not really, I send everyone there, like every girl. Do you know Damaris Lewis?
No.
She's another one doing very well. She wasn't on Top Model, but she was my roommate for a while in Paris, and she just every day was like, back to Breakfast in America. She was just like, I'm young. I want to say she's from Harlem, maybe not. You know, she's just like, I fly my own bread and peanut butter. I was like, girl, like, try some French, and she's like no. Same with, and Joan Smalls was the same way. I remember having like Thanksgiving dinner at this Breakfast in America and going with Damaris and going with Joan Smalls and like taking these girls, and they were just like, no, we don't need that. I'm like, what? No, we don't.
No.
We don't need that. So that's funny. But anyways, so I was the wrangler for like these girls. I probably what he's referring to is when I was like, oh my God, I love your shoes. Those are so pretty. Where'd you get them? And she's like, oh, thanks. They gave them to me at the Gucci show. And I was like, oh. Like,
excusez-moi.
Oh, okay.
Nate
So
here wants to know, were you all given the same pair of heels for the runway walk? Some of the girls literally
yes,
fell out. Some of the girls literally fell out of them. Poor Carrie.
I think I want to say there was one, maybe two pairs, but they were like size 9. Um, that was awful. That was awful.
Torture.
Like yeah. I did fine. Oh, it shows me running off, but I wasn't running. I was just trying not to fall, and I literally like ran into one of the Wranglers were like right there, and I just like ran as fast as I could into like fall on her.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. It's weird watching my walk on that because I'm assuming no one walks like how they walked on Top Model, but
Hamadi underscore the underscore hottie asks, why'd you want to come back to the US when you were so successful in Europe? She talks about her modeling career, guys. So when I post this video later on the Oliver Twixt YouTube channel, you're gonna have to rewind it and watch where she talks about it, about certain things she had to do once her career started doing certain things. Ashley.Morgan.Fink, quick opinion on each of the girls. She already did this in the beginning. So y'all got to come to class on time. The teacher can't be late. Y'all can't be late. She talks about this in the beginning of this chat, so you're going to have to rewind and watch. Krista underscore Rella, how good did you feel when you started to book real jobs?
I mean, great. I didn't even realize it at first. So I was only in New York for a couple of months. And I met with my agency in Paris and like, a go-see. And they were like, they want you to come like now. They want you to be there like now. Which was a really good place for me to go hide, honestly. Cause no, that wasn't, yeah, it wasn't. So what was the question?
How did it feel once you left Top Model but you started booking like real jobs?
So when I went to Paris, I had never been out of the country, right? So I was like, oh my God, no, you get there and there's a car waiting for you with your name and like this whole thing. And then the very next day I was flying to Ireland for that huge shoot. And I remember being upset about it in New York, being like, oh my God, like I'm already nervous enough flying to Paris. Now I got to go to, here from here and da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, you're shooting, and I remember him talking to my husband and be like, I don't think she has any idea like what magazine she's doing and what photographer she's shooting with. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was my first, I had booked it in New York before I even went to Paris. That was my first huge shoot. And then from there, it just was amazing. I had a really, really great booker who really loved me in Paris. And I immediately was just like on option for the Vivienne Westwood campaign, on option for, like, I just kept optioning all these campaigns. And my first big thing was there's this photographer, Ellen Von Unworth, and she was my first big photographer I shot with, which I totally blew that shoot because I was so nervous because she was, I couldn't understand her. She has a German accent and I kept thinking that's a whole nother story. But from there, it was awesome. And like, after Italian Vogue was my, obviously, like that was the biggest, but after that, it just was great. I got the Diesel campaign. I started shooting really great editorial. I mainly did a lot of editorial work. I didn't really do runway work, but I can say I killed it editorial wise. And that was constant work. And I would be there in Paris when all those girls left to clean it up. And I would clean it up. And I would work I would take all those clothes right off the runway, put it on Mollie, and let's shoot her for, like one of the most epic shoots I did was for Japanese Vogue. And that was an incredible, like huge production. And like, that was like a windy day, like a guy died in Paris that day. And I'm like outside wearing this big flower. Anyway, so yeah, and it happened quick. It was quick. Like I got to Paris and it was just like boom, 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 boom. And then from there, I kind of roller coastered and changed agents and did more things. And, yeah.
Okay. I'm looking. I may have to skedaddle soon. I totally forgot I'm having like
I'm having people over.
Yeah, like, and there's like, I just heard my groceries get delivered, so I'm gonna scroll through. But guys, we talked, Molly. I think this is my longest chat I've ever done. We've almost spoken for like 3 hours. Where did the time go? No, it was freaking amazing. You did an amazing job.
I wonder if my family's here. Family? I can see that. I can see my husband's car is gone. So
okay. Okay. I'm trying to see. I hope you guys are enjoying. Clearly, you guys are enjoying this.
I mean, I wanted to like write down some things that I wanted to say, and I was like, just stop it. Just go in there and like be normal.
Okay. Ooh, I saw this question a lot. So, okay. Joni talked about in her chat where she has not heard from Danielle in a while. Do you know anything about that?
I'm trying to think if I even asked her that. I don't think she wants to have anything to do with the show. I don't think it's a personal thing. I just think that, not that it did her wrong or, it did or whatever, but I don't think she wants to. And, honestly, I sent her, because I was rewatching it, and when I was like, oh my God, girl, I'm dying. I screenshot this picture where she's laying in my lap after she broke her pinky toe. I sent her that picture, and she was just like, we were each other's lifeline, girl. Like, she's like, I almost left after you left because I didn't want to go any further. I didn't want to be there with those people. I didn't want, and they did have a great relationship, but I just think like from that point on, she was like, I'm just going to win. I'm going to do this. Look, Mom, I'm a CoverGirl. And I just don't think she wants, I don't know. Sometimes she doesn't answer my texts either because she's so busy.
She's busy. She's busy. Okay.
Yes.
Listen, I think we may have to do a part 2 of this.
What? Okay.
Molly. And it's only because I have like people coming over to my house and I don't have my face on. Y'all see I came on this thing barefaced today. I don't have no foundation. I need to take Cookie out. I got to warm up some food. So I do have to skedaddle. Or if I didn't have those things, I would be right here gathering all this tea. So we will be doing a part 2 and we will schedule it. Well, you haven't agreed to it. Did you agree to it? I don't want to put you on the front. Yes. Okay. So we'll schedule it and we're going to talk about some more top models. I'm very interested actually with you talking about like post top model stuff and like just educating the girls on like the modeling industry and some of these things that you may encounter, things you should watch out for. I think that would be great, especially coming from you.
That's my job.
Yay! Okay. Molly.
I teach runway classes.
Molly, you have given, I think.
Joe, where's my bed?
The most epic A&TM2 exclusive chat I have ever done. At one point I wanted to hide my face because it was just so good. You gave us what we wanted and then some, and then some.
There's more in there somewhere.
And it's, you know what? And on some G stuff, first of all, it's great to look at your face and see that you're still beautiful, freaking beautiful. Everyone was just admiring on how beautiful you look and your skin and your hair and just you being you.
My little growing out my little pony. Thank you.
So
40 is everything.
You're over 40?
I'm 40, exactly.
Oh. I mean, but that doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. That's why I say it's everything. Don't be afraid of it. Yeah. I was afraid of 30, not 40. I'm wiser.
And yes, all this knowledge and how you're able to rationalize things and verbalize things is like, I was sitting here just learning and learning and learning. I'm pretty sure everyone at home was just sitting and learning and learning and learning. Which is why I feel so bad that I have to cut this.
I'm here to teach.
But
I'll start a YouTube channel. No, I won't. My son wants to, and he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Oh, just come consult with me. I'll help you guys out.
Okay.
Mollie, this has been freaking amazing. You are freaking amazing.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have spoken to you and done
Same.
this.
Same.
The people are calling me. I was just thinking, so usually when I'm talking to you girls, I'm thinking about like, what moment am I going to type in the title? I'm just going to put the most epic A&TM chat ever. The most mind-blowing stories by Mollie Sue. I think that's all I need to do is just put it out there and let the people consume, because this was freaking, I laughed, I teared up, I was gagged, I was gooped, I was informed, I was motivated, I was educated. This was freaking amazing. You did a great job today. I hope heaven smiles down on you right now.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to say before you go?
No. Thank you. Thank you. I've never been able to talk about it, right? I've never talked about it because I kind of hid from it. And you see people say things and you're like, no, that's all wrong, whatever. So I'm glad I got to kind of clear things up or whatever, or there's probably more to clear up, but.
You did a fabulous job.
Thanks. Thank you.
Fabulous. Freaking fabulous. And tell Dani, don't be afraid.
I know she will. I think it's in her own time. I know she'll
be all right.
And she will. She'll call you.
She has my number?
She does.
Dani has my girl, you done got me excited. You should have just lied to me. You should have just let me leave.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
Listen, guys.
She will now.
Got you. No. It's all love. I'm grateful because I remember, I know I keep saying I'm going to go, but I remember when I was watching Cycle 6, I was in elementary school going to middle school.
Wow.
And, I haven't told this story in a while because I've done so many, but, Top Model is my second favorite show of all time. Nothing will ever beat Charmed. Mm-hmm. And you know what, Mollie, I really liked you too. And it just jogged my memory because I remember when I was little, I was like, oh my God, she looks like Alyssa Milano a little bit. Just a teensy, winch. You look like Alyssa Milano, just a teeny.
I'll take it.
Just a teeny. But Top Model was a show where, as a young gay Black boy, I was able to get identity. I was able to watch something I felt like that was made for me. I was able to see other queer people work in whatever it is that they wanted to do and be proud. And even Tyra being this strong Black woman who was giving opportunities to all these girls. And then you see all these girls from different walks of life, just a celebration of culture and individuality. And so it was, Top Model is.
I mean.
When you look through it, like what it did for so many people like me, and inspired me to be who I am this day doing what I do, and now I'm talking to you girls. It's mind blowing. I don't take any of it for granted, and I'm so grateful every time y'all say yes. We'll talk to you.
I am honored. So thank you.
And with that, guys, please send Mollie Sue hugs, kisses, all the great things that we do as we wave goodbye to her from giving us a top mother-loving, top-tier A&TM exclusive of Cycle 6 of America's Next Top Model. Mollie.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.